women often move in silence, not because they have nothing to express, but because their emotions operate on a deeper level than what the world usually sees. Their secret pleasures are rarely spoken out loud, not because they are trying to hide anything, but because most men never create the emotional environment where a woman feels safe enough to reveal them. When you understand the hidden pleasures that quietly shape a woman's attraction, connection, and emotional trust, you begin to interact with her in a way that makes her feel seen. Often for the first time, one of the biggest secret pleasures women have is feeling emotionally safe with a man, to know that she can speak openly without being judged, criticized, or dismissed. She may never say it, but emotional security is more attractive to her than physical appearance or money. When a man becomes her emotional safe space, it becomes one of her deepest sources of comfort and desire. Another hidden pleasure women enjoy is being understood without having to explain everything in detail. When a man can read between the lines, sense her mood, or understand what she's trying to say emotionally, not just verbally, she feels deeply connected. This kind of intuitive understanding touches a place inside her that she rarely reveals. Women also secretly love a man who shows calm leadership, not controlling, not aggressive, just steady. A man who can take initiative, make decisions with clarity, and guide a situation confidently brings a sense of relief to her nervous system. She may not admit it, but quiet masculine leadership is a pleasure she feels deeply. Another pleasure women hide is their appreciation for small, thoughtful gestures. A simple message, a gentle check in remembering something she mentioned weeks ago. These tiny actions touch her heart far more than dramatic gestures ever could. She may pretend she didn't notice, but she did, and it meant more to her than she will ever say. Women also feel pleasure when a man is a patient listener. Not someone waiting to speak, but someone willing to understand. When a man gives her space to express without rushing or fixing everything immediately, she feels respected, valued, and emotionally held. Women secretly enjoy being pursued with consistency. Not overwhelming intensity, but stable, predictable energy. A man whose actions align with his words gives her a silent sense of trust that she rarely talks about but deeply feels. Another hidden pleasure is when a man makes her feel chosen, not by words but by actions. When he prioritizes her in small ways, makes time for her, and treats her presence as meaningful, she feels wanted in a way that builds emotional attachment. Women also enjoy the pleasure of being admired. Not in a superficial way, but in the way a man looks at her with genuine appreciation. When a man notices her natural qualities, her smile, her kindness, her effort, she feels seen in a way she secretly craves. Another pleasure women keep hidden is being surprised emotionally, not with gifts, but with growth. When a man evolves, takes responsibility, or improves himself. When she sees him becoming a better version of himself, it inspires her, attracts her, and touches her heart. Women secretly appreciate emotional safety more than anything, but often hide how deeply it affects their desire. Emotional safety is not just a comforting feeling for a woman, it is the foundation upon which her trust, attraction, and connection are built. Many men assume women fall in love through grand gestures or romantic words, but the truth is, emotional safety is the quiet force that shapes her entire experience with a man. It is the space where she feels she can unfold without fear, express without judgment, and be herself without pretending. Women do not always admit how much this matters because emotional safety is a vulnerable topic. It requires revealing their fears, needs, and insecurities. So instead, they often test indirectly, observe silently, and choose slowly. But inside, this need sits at the core of her emotional world. Emotional safety means a man is stable in his reactions. For a woman, nothing is more unsettling than unpredictability, anger that comes suddenly, mood swings that appear out of nowhere, or cold behavior that replaces warmth without explanation. These things make her retreat emotionally. But a man who remains calm, steady, and composed gives her a kind of peace she rarely talks about. She feels she can relax her nervous system around him. She no longer walks on eggshells wondering how he will respond. His steadiness becomes a quiet pleasure for her, something that deepens her attraction without her consciously realizing it. Another part of emotional safety is the freedom to speak without being criticized. Women often think deeply before they share something important because they worry about being misunderstood or dismissed. When a man listens, the type of listening where he actually absorbs her words rather than planning his response, she feels valued, she feels important. She feels that her emotions matter, even if she doesn't express them perfectly. And that sense of being understood builds a bond that grows stronger every time she opens up. Men often underestimate how small moments like this create emotional intimacy. But for women, these small moments are everything. Emotional safety also means she can show her softer side without being judged. Many women hide their vulnerability because they fear being seen as weak or too emotional. Society often tells women they must be strong, independent, and resilient, so they learn to mask their sensitivity. But in the presence of a man who makes her feel emotionally safe, she can drop her guard. She can cry, laugh, get excited, or express fear without feeling embarrassed. When she finds a man who allows her to be soft, she experiences a pleasure that lives deep in her heart. It makes her trust him. It makes her open up. And it makes her commit emotionally in ways that words cannot describe. Another layer of emotional safety comes from consistency. Women pay attention to patterns. How a man behaves over time, how stable his energy is, how reliable his actions are. Consistency is not about perfection. It is about showing up with the same steady presence day after day. A man who is consistent builds emotional safety without ever needing to talk about it. She can feel it. She can sense it. She knows she can rely on him, not because he promises, but because he has proven it through his behavior. This reliability becomes one of her secret pleasures, something she cherishes deeply but rarely verbalizes. Respect is also a major part of emotional safety. When a man respects her boundaries, her time, her values, and her emotional needs, she feels protected. Respect tells her that she is valued as a person, not just admired for her physical beauty or what she can provide. A respectful man does not push her, pressure her, or manipulate her. He gives her space when she needs it and closeness when she seeks it. This balance is incredibly important to a woman, and it allows her to feel strong emotional attachment. Emotional safety even influences desire. Many men think desire is only physical, but for women, emotional safety is the door that opens to deeper physical attraction. When she feels safe, she can express affection more freely. She can connect emotionally and physically with confidence. Without emotional safety, she may still spend time with a man, but she does not fully surrender her heart or her passion. A woman's desire grows strongest when she feels emotionally secure. And even though she may not say it, emotional safety amplifies everything: her trust, her admiration, her loyalty, and her attraction. Another hidden aspect of emotional safety is the pleasure she feels when a man controls his temper. Women observe how a man handles stress, conflict, and disappointment. When he responds with maturity and emotional intelligence, she feels protected. It shows her that he will not turn his frustrations into weapons. It shows her he is emotionally responsible, and that gives her a sense of peace that she carries in her heart without ever explaining it. She may never say, "I love how calm you are," but her smile, her comfort, and her openness reveal how much it means to her. Lastly, emotional safety gives her the freedom to love deeply. When a woman feels safe, she loves with her whole heart. She becomes nurturing, supportive, affectionate, and loyal. Emotional safety unlocks her feminine energy. It allows her to pour into the relationship with confidence and joy. But men who fail to create emotional safety never get to see this side of her. They think she is closed off or uninterested, but she is simply protecting herself. When she meets a man who gives emotional safety, everything inside her changes. She opens, she blooms, she trusts, and she connects in a way that becomes unforgettable. Emotional safety is not just a desire, it's one of her deepest pleasures, one she hides from most men but feels intensely when she finds the right one.